Seven questions about expectations to master your actions and emotions. The breakthrough idea for this week is that the quality of our expectations can dramatically change our actions and emotions in all areas of our lives and in all relationships. This is really amazing. We'll give you several examples, evidences, and then we will end with 7 profound questions about your expectations that will give you a deep insight about why you feel and act the way that you do and what needs to change for the actions and emotions to change. We talked about expectations in several episodes in different contexts. We have not treated it as one topic up until now. And this is the first episode where we will see how deep, diverse, and powerful tool our expectations are for our success and emotional mastery. Let's start with our own expectations from our own self. What do we expect ourselves to be able to achieve? This is a topic we discussed earlier, that many people don't chase their dreams because they simply don't think that they can achieve them. We gave you a breakthrough idea to come out of this in an episode by sharing how inspiring you are. This was our episode number 2. On the other hand, some people really have unrealistic expectations from themselves, or they may have unrealistic expectations of their loved ones, and no matter what they do or others do, they can never appreciate and they always want more and more. How hard it is for such a person to be pleased. This may be a good time to pause the podcast and think about how unrealistic are your own expectations, whether it be for yourself or for others. How unrealistically low they are or how unrealistically high they are. Think about it. Self-expectations as well as your expectations from others. Think about the question, do you appreciate people? This is something that we talked about in last episode as well when we were talking about lessons from horsemanship. It is very important for us to appreciate others. So go ahead, pause the audio and think about it. Now, let's think about our expectations regarding opinions of others about us. If someone say that you are not smart enough, you are a slow learner, you don't know how to do this, you will never learn, you're not a good husband, you're not a good wife, you're not a good mother, you're not a good father, you didn't do anything, etc. What does that mean to you? Do you think about how credible and how just the opinions of others are about you? Many times people don't take a step back to realize how just is that opinion. This leads to them losing self-confidence. Likewise, if someone is sugarcoating and praising you, what does that really mean? Are you being deceived by false opinions of others? Check out our episode number 9 on hidden words and relationships for more on this. Another point is if someone asks a question in a discussion, is it a criticism or a genuine question to help us? This has a lot to do with our expectation of someone. So look at this. It's different when we say expectation of someone versus expectations from someone. So if we expect someone to be always criticizing, we expect them as a criticizer. We expect them as someone who does not trust us, as someone who's always trying to disrespect us. The way we will handle their comments and questions in our mind will be totally different from if it was to come from a trusted friend. And this always happens in troubled relationships. Once people lose their trust and confidence, anything that the other party says is always viewed with a sense of doubt. So the questions to think about would be, do they value us? Do they love us? Do they care about us? Do they respect us? And so on and so forth. Now, this can all be changed by changing your own expectations. We'll talk about later whether it's a realistic expectations or an unrealistic expectation. But the point is, same question, same comment can be viewed in totally different ways based on our expectations of others. So think about it. Are you suffering from this? What kind of trust do you have in different relationships? how do you view their questions and comments based on your expectations of others? How would you change that expectation? That would require some conditioning, some writing down, some reviewing, some repetitions, and so on and so forth. Now, the same thing can be applied regarding the household rules and discipline. Are they meant to control you? Are they meant to provide a safe and healthy growth environment where everybody is respected? Or do you not view them like that? Our breakthrough idea is a lot can be changed from our emotional health and satisfaction and quality of our relationships by just doing a reality check on our expectations. If our expectations are away from reality, we are not likely to be going to be happy. When in doubt, always err on the positive side and give people the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. Look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advises us and He says in His book, وَقُلْ لِعِبَادِي يَقُولُوا الَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ يَنزَغُ بَيْنَهُمْ إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ كَانَ لِلْإِنسَانِ عَدُوًّا مُبِينًا. And tell my servants to say that which is best. Indeed, Satan induces dissension among them. Indeed, Satan is ever to mankind a clear enemy. So Allah is instructing us to use words that cannot be interpreted in the wrong way and to clarify and so on and so forth. But imagine if the other person is not doing that, you can help that person by reshaping their words, by rephrasing their words and say, I assume you mean this, right? I assume you would like to understand. I assume you feel this way. Let me explain the situation is not this way or that way, and so on and so forth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Take what is given freely, easily. Right? So this is about lowering your expectations and increasing your appreciations. So think about it. How often do we do that? And then Allah says, enjoin, command, order which is good, known good. Right? So you're not overburdening people. And then Allah says at the end of this verse, and turn away from the ignorant. Right? So this is similar to what we were saying in the previous episode around getting out of the way. When things are heating up, you do not have to debate all the time. Always think, what do I expect from this debate? Sometimes it's just much better to say, okay, I understand your point of view and I will think about it. Thank you. You do not have to convince the other person. You do not have to argue. You do not have to debate. So you have to choose where the debate is necessary, where the discussion is necessary, and where it is just simply enough to acknowledge the other person's point of view. And what is an appropriate time for discussion and debate. I cannot stress enough how important this is to maintain healthy relationships. So, expectations play a big role in our life. Think about it. If you stay up late expecting to rise up early and you have been failing at this, then you need to maybe change to more realistic expectations. If you're always late because you start late and you're underestimating the time it will take you to complete a project or to get to somewhere, then maybe it's time for you to change to more realistic expectations. Now let's move on to our spirituality section. What we will talk about today is our expectations about, expectations from, and expectations of Allah. In Arabic, the words used are dhann and also qadr. Following the book, The Disease and the Cure by Ibn AlQayyum Rahimaullah, we are in the chapter of evil thoughts about Allah, or not giving Allah His due right, which he is calling su'u dhann billah. Now this is applicable in a wide variety of situations. First and foremost is to expect Allah to have taken a son or a daughter. To imagine and to expect that anyone has any share in the dominion, in the dominion and in the control of Allah. To expect that one can get to Allah's mercy faster by seeking intermediaries instead of going directly to Him. or to expect that anyone can save one from Allah without the will of Allah, to expect that anyone can bring harm or benefit to us without the will and permission of Allah. And this false expectation, this false estimation leads people to go to grave worship and to go through, righteous people and trying to please them and trying to, even excel and go to the extremes of worshiping them or raising them to a status that they do not deserve, and that is violating the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next is our expectations about the deen of Allah. Is the deen of Allah to limit us, to deprive us of our freedom and enjoyment, or is it because of a wisdom and for a greater good? Reflect on the discipline there is in the deen and flexibility there is. 5 prayers, once a month of fasting, right? Is it there to shun away all entertainment or fun, or only those type of entertainment that is harmful for us? Many people think, what can a smoke do for me? Let me just try it once. Let me just try drugs once. Let me just try looking at inappropriate content in relation to nudity just once. And they get hooked onto it, right? They get this pleasure, they get this disconnect from their worries, and they keep going back and back to it. It's very hard for someone who has tried it several times to now quit. So that is why you can see that the goals and the objectives of the religion is for our own growth and protection of the society. Likewise, if a hardship falls on us, what are our expectations? Does that mean Allah does not love us? Or does that mean Allah is testing us and Allah will raise our status by patience? Similarly, if good times fall on us, does that mean that we are beloved of Allah? Does that mean that everyone who has more luxury and ownership in this world is a beloved of Allah? Right? So these are all related to realistic and unrealistic, good and bad expectations from Allah. Likewise, if you do something good for the sake of Allah and the other person does not appreciate, does not return your favor, does not return your favors likewise, is not kind to you, is not appreciating you, does that mean that your efforts are going to waste? Another thing is our expectations about the justice of Allah. Is this all going to end without justice? Will the poor and the rich be equal? Will the patient one and the transgressors be equal? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in His book, وَمَا خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاءَ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا بَاطِلًا ذَلِكَ ظَنُّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فَوَيْلٌ لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنَ النَّارِ. And we did not create the heaven and the earth, and that is between them aimlessly. That is a false assumption. That is the assumption of those who disbelieve. So woe to those who disbelieve from the fire. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَمْ نَجْعَلُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ كَالْمُفْسِدِينَ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَمْ نَجْعَلُ الْمُتَّقِينَ كَالْفُجَّارِ. Or should we treat those who believe and do righteous deeds like the corruptors in the land? Or should we treat those who fear Allah like the wicked? So these questions are encouraging us and guiding us to think and reflect that there's a purpose behind the creation. The ones who submit and do righteous deeds, the ones who love Allah the most, will not be treated like the ones who do not. Is the one who does not pay much attention and does not give much regard to the commands and prohibitions of Allah and violates it left, right, and center. What are his expectations from Allah? Is he giving Allah his due right? Or the one who is negligent of Allah, his right, negligent of the hereafter, and just wandering blindly? Or the one who gives least priority to Allah and is much more concerned about how people see him? And he does not care about how Allah sees him. He's afraid of people, but is not afraid of Allah. Think about it. If someone has an amazingly high standard for creation, right, regarding the time he wakes up the kids for school, the time he's always on time, and he's right away answering certain phone calls, being on time for the meetings, serving food to children or even to pets, taking them out on a walk. but is extremely lazy when it comes to prayer times. All these things have consequences. He keeps chasing the pleasure and approval of the creation, thinking that this is how he will become rich, this is how he will become powerful, this is how he will become happy and content. And he forgets the one who created content, the one who created happiness, the one who owns all might, power, and richness. Okay, so now that we have seen all these examples, ideas, evidences, and thoughts, let us go to the 7 questions that we need to be asking ourselves. What are our expectations from ourselves? What are our expectations of our abilities? Number 2, what are our expectations when it comes to obeying the Creator and when it comes to serving the creation? Number 3, what are our expectations from others? What are our expectations of others? When they say something about us, they comment about us, or they comment something about the way that we do things. Number 5, what are our expectations when great and happy things happen to us or for us? And what are our expectations when painful things happen? Do we think that one implies that Allah is happy with us? Is that how we judge the happiness of Allah from us? Number 6, what do we need to expect less and appreciate more? And number 7, what needs to change? What is unrealistic? What is serving against us?
Thank you for watching our Muslim Mastery Breakthroughs, a weekly video series in which we share insights on how you can achieve breakthroughs in your life to unlock your spirituality, relationships, and mindset. If you like the ideas we shared, please like and share them now. We always love to hear from you, so tell us how this system is working for you.